How are
Uh,
you lately? How are you going with everything?
yeah, I'm good.
You're good. Have
Yeah.
you been doing some exploring in Sydney?
Uh,
Found any good
so-
restaurants? Um, have you been to somewhere beautiful or
no,
interesting? Not really.
it's raining. It's raining a
Oh
lot
yes,
today.
it's been raining a lot. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand. Okay. Any questions from last time?
So,
And have you been doing any studying lately? Because Vivian told me that sometimes you go to the lectures in the school,
yeah.
I mean university. So which lectures have you done so far?
Uh, Let me.
She told me you did the English literature one, right? And you found that it was a little bit difficult for you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
The English literature is a little bit difficult for
Hmm.
me to
Yeah,
understand, I
that's
think.
fine. Yeah. And what about linguistics? Did you do any lectures?
Linguistics.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this one. So what
we
did you
we
learn?
attended some lectures.
Okay, I'm just letting Vivian know that only you have joined. So let me find Vivian, texting her at the moment, but we will make a start in a minute, regardless of um whether they come or not. And
Maybe they don't know the class.
Ashley, yeah,
The time
Ashley.
of the class has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because yesterday I checked my checked my
Email.
class and
Yeah.
yeah, I checked my email and I found the time of the class has changed to
Okay.
4 p.m.
All right. Okay. So you were saying that you did attend some linguistic classes as well, or
Yeah,
tutorial? Mm-hmm. So what
yes.
were they about?
Not
Because
tutorial, just
yeah,
lectures.
just the lectures.
Yeah.
Was it phonetics as well? So the sounds, sound system, like these kind of things, or
I
something
think that
different?
I think those lectures are a little bit similar to the class I had in China.
Okay. So what did you have in China?
We also have some
Mm.
linguistic classes.
Okay. So this is not entirely new. So you're not really
Yeah,
studying from scratch. That's good. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I didn't know this before. All right. All right. So let's make a start because I don't know if they will turn up eventually or not. So last time we made an introduction to phonetics, and maybe we're just relearning this thing. Maybe it's the third time you've been doing this. But
Mm.
anyway, so we have three branches under phonetics, which is the subject I'm most passionate about. So articulatory phonetics is what we are studying in, well, basically in any introductory courses. We're not dealing with acoustic, which is the physics of phonetics, and auditory concerns the listening part. So we didn't take a look at the whole, articulatory system, the human organs. So we have, what do we have above? We've got the nasal cavity, like a cave. We use the nasal cavity to make sounds like and So the nasal sounds. And you are doing French as well at the same time, back in China,
Um,
a little bit.
yeah, a little bit.
And have you
Just a
started your
bit.
French lessons in Australia?
No,
Not really. Okay. So
no.
as you may know, that in French there are many nasal sounds. So the nasalized vowel sounds like on and un. So these are produced partially through the nose and partially through the mouth. So it's like on So some air comes out from the nose and some comes out from the mouth. So we use the nasal cavity to produce sounds as well. Now, of course, we cannot make any sounds at all if we don't have lungs. So what do the lungs do? So do you know what the lungs do in terms of making sounds?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, and that's a very important point actually, because we all know that we need lungs to survive because we need the oxygen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for our blood cells, right? So the red blood cells carry oxygen, and then it takes the oxygen into our heart, which is pumped to all the areas in our body. But not many of us know that lungs actually provide the power. So the air, which is pushed through the vocal folds here. So it's like pa. In order to produce a pa sound, we need the air to be pushed up. Okay, so that's like a motor, like in a car, and like an engine. So lungs are like engine in phonetics, in producing sounds. We also have the pharynx and larynx. So the vocal folds are the two very thin membranes. Yeah, we talked about this last time, and it's within the larynx, and pharynx is just above it. Okay, in some Arabic languages, some sounds are produced here, but in Chinese or English or French, we don't really use this part of the throat. So it's really hard for us to learn those sounds, and it's also very hard for us to, distinguish or tell the sounds apart if the sounds are made there. Okay, so this is another diagram with more new words, probably. The trachea is the windpipe. It's easier to understand as windpipe. Windpipe is the so the tunnel connecting to the lungs. So when you swallow something, the food must go this way. It can't go that way, otherwise you'll be in trouble. You'll need to get a surgery. All right, it's very dangerous. You'll keep coughing if someone goes the wrong way. Okay, let me just check if okay. Just briefly checking that you are the only one here. Okay. And I've shared it. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen, was I?
Oh yeah, I didn't see.
Oh, I wasn't. Sorry about that. So you had no idea what I was talking about. Okay, let me start from not the beginning, but just give you a very brief walkthrough. So that's the picture I meant to share with you. All right, so now it's making more sense, I hope. The lungs, the nasal cavity, oral cavity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. Yeah, so I was pointing. So the food can't go into this way. All right. No wonder it looked a bit strange. So that's trachea. That's the word. Or windpipe is here. And I'll share with you the PowerPoint slides after the lesson. Okay, all good?
Oh, good.
And since it's a one-on-one lesson, feel free to stop me or interrupt at any time. It's totally fine. It's more like a tutorial than a lecture. All right. So this is new. Yeah. So this is a quick summary of what we covered last time. So letters are not reliable. So that's the takeaway. That's the point. So letters are visual. So something you see with your eyes, and it's something you write. Yeah, you create or reproduce using your hand. Whereas sounds are usually produced using your mouth, maybe your nose as well, but we usually don't really associate sounds with nose. And it's perceived using our ears. There they are. Okay, great. All right, they're connecting. Hello. Can you hear me, Eliza and Nora? Hi again. All right. I'm glad you've successfully made it. Did you forget about the lesson? All right. It will be 4 o'clock every Tuesday in April. I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted. Okay. Anyway, we'll just carry on. Just move this aside. All right. So we talked about how the letters or the alphabet can not be trusted because they're not really phonetic. They are created to be phonetic, but they are not entirely reliable. And we talked all about this, so I'm going to skip ahead. And this is a very useful summary of the problems we face. And that's why we need some symbols for sounds and just for sounds. Okay, we need the right tools because we can't trust what we see, the letters, because of the many problems presented. So, some facts that you need to know about IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. So, what surprises you the most here? We have some facts. Yeah. So, Nora, can you see? Can you hear? Yep. So, just reading this. So, this system, what surprises me the most is probably not about the age, not about how old this system is. It's probably this one, number 4. It can represent all the sounds. Okay, all the sounds. Not a single sound is missed, is left behind. It can represent all the sounds in all the languages on Earth. Maybe they're not so useful for alien languages because they have a different, body structure. They don't have a mouth, or they communicate using something we can't understand, right? But if you're a human being, then we can use the symbols. Although we are looking at the symbols, but you have to understand that they are phonetic symbols. So they are basically sound bubbles, okay? Yeah, so this is my favorite part. That was that. A very lucky number. Very easy to remember the year it was created. Yep. And then we touched on consonants. So consonants, are you familiar with the concept, consonants? All right, here's an interesting question. Consonants and vowels, which group of sounds are more important? So if we can only have one group of the sounds, so consonants and vowels are 2 main groups of sounds. Yeah. So if we can only have one group, which one should stay and which one should go away?
Maybe consonants should stay.
Why is that? What's your reasoning?
I think consonants is very important to English.
To English, okay. So actually, there is no correct answer to this question. You can argue both ways, but for some phoneticians, they think that vowels are the key components because if you look at a syllable like Peter, then E is the longest one, and the most obvious one. So Peter. Yep. You can't just have p as a syllable. In most languages, you can't have p and then that's it because it's too weak. All right. So people argue that vowels are more powerful, so they are more important. But in fact, one cannot live without another group for sure because they need to work together. Like females and males, we can't just have one gender in the world, right? We need both genders to keep the humanity or the human society moving ahead. All right. But we were looking at consonants last time. And we have two ways to understand or to categorize consonants. One is horizontally, we have all the places. So where are the consonants created in our mouth? Okay, so consonants are created using frictions. So I'm not sure. Yeah, so we have bilabial, which just means two lips. Did you study this in China before? Are we doing revision only? If so, I can just move very fast forward.
We didn't learn it.
Oh, you didn't learn this part. Okay. So a consonant must be created with a certain degree of obstruction, like it's blocked. It's not, passing through freely. So it has to be obstructed or narrowed. So when you push your lips together, so the obstruction is created. So if you make p or b or v, they are all bilabials because you see that number one is lip to lip. So we have bi meaning two. Labial means lips.
Lips.
Okay. And labial dental, so you actually pause after labial. Labial is lip again. Dental, dental is teeth, right? So you have your lip with your teeth. That's what sound does it make if you press your lower lip to your upper teeth? That's a f sound, right? F.
Yeah.
F. But we don't really do the opposite. It's interesting, isn't it? We don't do the other way around. We don't do f. We don't really bite with our lower teeth into our upper lip. Interesting. Okay. And then we have alveolar. Our dental is like the English th. The thank you, 333 sounds. Well, it's really hard to pronounce. Yes, thank you, 3. So the dental sound, or it's also called interdental, so between the teeth. Yeah, you put your tongue in between the teeth. My favorite part is alveolar because it's the gum, the ridge, just behind your upper teeth. There's a ridge here, very hard. So it's called the hard palate. It's the front side of the hard palate. In Chinese, we call it the 硬腭, right? So that's the alveolar. And the reason why I like this area is because there are so many different sounds that are created. They're meaningful. So if you do a very slight change, maybe you're pronouncing it wrong or you're saying something else in some languages, all right? So it's very tricky. And it's partial because the tip of the tongue is very flexible. So you can do a lot of motions and different gestures to create different colors of sounds, if you will. Different shapes and different colors. It's how we describe how we feel when we hear a sound. Yeah. Or timbre. Timbre is another phrase we use to describe how we perceive sounds. Post-alveolar. Post means after. So after the alveolar part, we have post-alveolar. And then we have retroflex. Retroflex is actually a group of sounds found in Chinese Mandarin. So the zhi chi shi is like, you need to see this one curling up behind the hard palate, this S shape. So it's 卷舌翘舌, right? The
Yeah.
oh, actually 卷舌 and 翘舌 are different sounds. I think this is 卷
Ashley.
舌 and 翘舌
Yeah.
is like Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are different. Yeah, correct. And palatal, velar, uvular, pharyngeal are, sounds made at the back. So velar sounds are the g and k. And see if you can feel it. When you say g, you're actually using the center part of your tongue, k, k, k,
Yeah.
g, 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 to touch your soft palate, which is also called the velum. The velum is the soft palate. K, k, k. If you do a slight variation and use this part instead of the center part, the back part, to touch this part, you get a k sound, a k-like sound, but it's not really k. It's a k. K. You can't really see me, but it sounds like k, but it's not really k. It's a k. And these sounds are not used in Chinese, English, Spanish, or any other languages, major languages, but this group of sounds are used in the Middle East, in Arabic. So, Qatar, the country? Qatar.
Well, I know.
So they use the K. So it's a special K. It's not the KK, it's the QK. So Qatar. Okay. So a lot of Q words. Probably Iraq as well. You see the Q in Iraq. Maybe they use the back velum. K instead of the normal K. All right. And pharyngeal is more typically Arabic. So I actually practice really hard. I spent almost 3 months practicing my pharyngeal sounds because we never, ever use this area of our muscles, okay? In speaking English, French, or Mandarin Chinese, or Shanghainese, or whatever. It's you have to control this part of the muscles very well, and you have to narrow it because all the consonants are created using friction or narrowing. If you can't move the muscles, you can't make any sounds, right? So you have to squeeze it. So I spent 3 months trying to control, and corrected by my Arabic students from Saudi Arabia and those countries. So this is what the sounds like. Okay, I try my best. So ha, ha. So it's not ha, it's a ha. Maybe they will say I'm doing it incorrectly, but I did my best to demonstrate. All right, so we have different areas or places of articulation: bilabial, labiodentals, with examples, and you have the explanation or description of the movements for your reference. Th and the. So on the left side, we have the voiceless. Okay, so that's another important concept to differentiate. So f is voiceless, so you can't really hear. You can still hear it, but it's not very powerful. Like f, very soft, like whispering, right? And v there's more power in it, more vibration. It's actually here that makes the difference. So nothing is different here. Nothing is different up there. Your mouth, your nose, all stay the same. Your tongue is all the same. But it's here, your larynx, your vocal folds, the shape has changed. So f and v, voiceless and voiced. And here again, we have th, th. And then change nothing, only adding some, only closing your vocal folds. V. Okay, so that's thank you, and this is this. Okay, same gestures, same places, but different voicing. All right, so alveolar. Remember, where is alveolar? It's the alveolar ridge. is the hard palate behind the upper teeth. And we have palatal sh, zh, ch, j, and y. And here, velar, k, g. That's the nasal sound. Uvula, not in English, but in Arabic, and this one in French as well, is the r, r, the trill, r, and then qa and gra. I don't think this sound is used in Arabic, the voice sound. Glottal, h, easy, but just remember when you're speaking English, don't use the Chinese h. Chinese h is not here. Chinese h is the velar h, 喝水, all right? So if you have a very thick Chinese accent, you will use the velar h to replace the glottal h. So this is Harry Potter, Harry, not Harry. Harry sounds very Chinese, right?
Oh.
Harry, right? So it's different, actual different sounds. And this one is an interesting one. This one is no sound. So this one means there's nothing. So that means you have to pause. Okay, so it's called a glottal stop. This one without the, it looks like a question mark without the dot. It's called a glottal stop. So there's no sound, silence. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. All right. So it's like, uh-oh. Okay, uh-oh. So the silence in between and o is this symbol. Uh-oh. It's not like ow, ow. It's uh-oh. So this sound is also found in Japanese. In Japanese, they have this little sound, which means you have to stop. Like sakka, sakka, like that. So it's a glottal stop. All right, so that's the anatomical structure. And then we have some non-pulmonic. So these are the sounds not made using your lungs. So you can have no lungs, but you can still make these sounds. Like a robot, you can still make these sounds. Okay? And I showed you some of these last time, like you don't need your lungs. And they're really interesting to listen to. So go to a YouTube video channel, just click, just put in these words and you will have so much fun. Trust me. So adjectives, languages, and then you can get some funny videos to watch. All right. So we're halfway through. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to pick some sounds you want me to make. So it's a test for me. All right, Nora, Ashley, Eliza, which one do you want me to make? And you have to tell me using these words. So for example, if you wanted me to make t, you will have to say, Justin, oh, my name's Justin, by the way. Justin, I want you to make an alveolar plosive. Okay, and you can say it. I want you to make the voiceless. So left side is called the voiceless, and d is voiced. Okay, so Ashley, if you're ready, choose one. Try me. I'm not sure if I can make them, but
I want you to make the retroflex, tap, or flap.
Oh, okay. So this sound is found in Indian, like Hindi languages. So in India, there are many languages who use this group of sounds. All right. All right. So it's a tap. Tap means it's a very fast, like a whip, this kind of motion. And I have to roll my tongue like okay. So it's like a but I have to move it like that. So it's ara, 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 ara. Yeah. For example, Nora. I can't say it. So it's not Nora, but it's Nora. But I haven't been trained on this sound, so I try my best. Nora, ra, ra, ra. But I can make this one, this tap. This one is used in English and Japanese. So in English, you have water. Water. Yeah, so actually what I did there was I compared the English water to this one. So I changed the place a little bit to make it work. All right. So that's my trick. So water, or the Japanese one, like arigato, ari. So the ari is not ali. Li is here.
Ari.
So it's actually a tab in Japanese. Yes. A lot of people don't know that. And they keep saying the ali or ari, but they are both wrong. So arigato is this one. And then if you roll your tongue a little bit more, it will become ariado. Sounds Indian already. I'm not Indian, right? And then you have to wave your head like that. Okay. What about you, Nora, and Eliza? I still haven't heard you two speak today.
I think they haven't opened their microphone.
Oh, I can hear Nora now. Yes. Which one do you want me to make, Nora? I can't hear you. Or you can type if you want.
My computer is not very high.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. I can hear you now. So just pick anyone. Just pick one. So you start from here, up there. Here, Villa.
Villa.
Yep, Villa. And then?
And
20 minutes later, class is over. All right, just kidding. All right, I'll choose for you. I'll do a voiced velar fricative. All right, so this one is r. It sounds nasty, but this one is h. The Chinese h, right? So this is the Chinese one. So h is voiceless, so you can say h. This one is adding some voice into it. So r, not h, but r. All right, so that's how you do it. You change from voiceless to voice. So r. I'm not sure which language this sound is used in. Okay. And then, Eliza, are you ready? Just one more sound before we conclude the consonant part and move on to the vowels. Can't hear Eliza. Do you have the same problem?
Labiodental.
Oh, labiodental. Okay. I'm with you. Approximate. Okay. Approximate, labiodental. So labiodental is like a f sound. So you start from something you're familiar with. So f. And then approximate means it's like a r. So you're not really touching, but it's like, it's really hard to describe. If you are interested in this chapter and you want some further studying, I will provide you with the link to a book chapter so you can look into it. Approximate, okay. It's not v, it's similar to v. You can look at the writing, it's similar. So, ava. You're just briefly touching, ava. It's not a va, it's ava. Touching it, and then you go. That's what I think. All right. And you can know if I'm right or not by going to the website I recommended last time. Remember, it's the IPA interactive chart. Okay, so that was places and manner. Manner is how you say it. Is it like a p, or is it like a So the places, the place is constant, the place is the same, but it's the gesture, how you make it. That's different. So there are two things to remember. Two ways you can change a consonant. 3 ways. One is place, Second is manner. Okay. And then there is voicing, the voiceless versus voice. Okay. So, any questions?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So this one, we can see that it's labial, bilabial sound, and the airflow has been pushed out. So it's a plosive. It's like the bomb. So that's how it's made, and that's where it's made. And here you can see that it's going around. So it's fricative. Fricative means it's the air is it's restricted, so it has to turn around, creating this swirl. And then we have the nasal sound, which is blocked in the oral cavity and forced to go out through the nasal cavity, the ng sound. And this is a mistake, actually. It should be the ng, that ng, not this one. Okay, so that was the end, and this is a quick summary for you. And don't worry, you will find these PowerPoint slides on your platform later after the lesson. So where, how, voicing, and how we write our IPA. One thing I didn't cover is this one. When we speak, consonants often affect the way the neighboring sounds are made. For example, we don't say student, right? We don't say student, we say student.
Yeah.
Why? Because S and T in English, they're neighboring sounds. They are close together. And there's a rule in English that after the S or X, the T or P or K will become, unaspirated. That's the term. So there's no much air coming out. So it has to be spy, sky, sty. Okay. But that's on the boundary of phonetics and phonology. Okay. So which is something we'll discover together next time, probably. Now, let's talk about the other type of sounds. What is the other type? How do you say the other type? The name of the other type?
Oh.
Vowels. Yeah, vowels. And then it's interesting that the word vowel has a lot of ow sound. Yeah, it's very wide and it's very open, very bright. So it has a very typical vowel sound as well in the word vowel. And this is a Lego man picture I made using PowerPoint slides. I just found them very cute to look at. Especially this one has a tongue out. If you flip it 90 degrees, and we see these are all vowel sounds. Okay, if you are in danger, what sound will you produce to call for help? I think in most languages, people will just call ah, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why do we use ah, not s or e? Why is that? Yeah, I think that man is making ah, although the water can get in faster. Yes.
Maybe sound more loudly.
Yes, it's more louder, so it travels more easily, and when it can travel farther away as well.
Yeah.
A longer distance. That's correct. So the reason why vowels are more powerful than consonants is that vowels are not narrowed, not restricted, remember? So when we make p, a lot of energy is lost when we say p. A lot of heat is generated, yeah? So, but when you say ah, the air goes out freely without anything blocking it on its way. So that's why ah is better than e. When you say e, it's narrow. Yeah, ah is the best. Okay. And it's similar to this one. When you're passing, the lady is just like the air trying to pass through the narrow gap of the cave, of the rock. And here we have this one, yeah. Can you,
Yeah.
if you slow down, you can hear the sound, right? So that is the vibration. So we can say is a consonant. And here we have ear, and you don't hear that part. It's a very clear and bright and open and wide sound, ear, and that's it. And that's actually a question I asked my teacher when I was 13 years old, because I couldn't tell the difference. And I said, "Oh, teacher, Miss Lee, what's the name? Miss Lee, how do you say ear and how do you say ear? Or what's the difference? I can't hear it. I can't say them differently." And she explained to me, but I couldn't remember what she said exactly. But there was a difference. And it was later when I studied phonetics in university that I found out the actual difference. One is consonant, one is just a vowel without any consonant. Okay, so let's move on to vowels. Vowels are created differently. Remember, with consonants, we change a consonant by changing the places. Like is it here or here or here or here? With vowels, we can also change the place, but we can't really change it to down here or bilabial, can we? Because we're not creating friction or obstructions anymore. So what are we doing now? We are shifting our tongue, especially, more precisely, the highest point. Can you see the blue dot?
I see.
Yeah, we're changing the highest point of our tongue. The tip, not the tip, tip is here, the highest point of the tongue. And if you keep moving your tongue in all directions, everyone can draw this little space. This space is not huge, but it's all your tongue can go, all the places your tongue can go. All right, so that's the space. If we enlarge the space, we can get this area represented by this chart. Now, we create 2 more sections. So the height can be categorized as high, mid-high, mid-low, or low. So we have 4 lines where these vowels or the positions of the tongue can fall into. And then we add some symbols, throw the IPA, sprinkle them all over, okay? And we get the R here, down there. Very open, very low. And on the other extreme, we have E. That's the very high one, the highest one, E. And this one, on the right, what is it? So E is here. What's that? Y shape thing. Okay, that's in Chinese. That's the Eliza's name, Yu.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep, 古鱼, Yu Jia, Yu. So that's the Yu sound. Oh, Yu Jia, all right. Is it Yu Jia or Yi Jia? Yu Jia, right, okay. So that's the Yu sound. In French as well. Yeah? So Yu, what's the French word with Yu? I can only think of the word for factory, usine, utile, u. In German as well, u. So what's the difference between E and U? So if you look at my mouth, I'm going to demonstrate. E is here. You only have to squeeze your cheeks. E. No other organs have moved. All right, my teeth haven't moved. My tongue hasn't moved. It's just the lip shape. Okay, if you relax enough, let the muscles relax and allow your hands to control the sounds, you will get this. If you spread your lips open, the sound will be E. If you press it together, it will be the rounded sound. Your lips are rounded.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what it stands for. Because back in consonants, when we write a symbol on the left, it's voiceless, remember? When we write the symbol on the right, it's voiced, like p and b. But here, they represent different things. So flat and rounded, or unrounded versus rounded. Now moving down, we have e and e. Again, this is the French sound. And then further down, we have a and e. They are very similar, aren't they? But they are just a little bit wider open. E, a, e, a. And here we have e, a. Very similar. If you're not, if the difference is not in your mother tongue, you can't really tell them apart without training. And the middle one is the most relaxed sound. It's just the When you wake up in the morning, I don't want to study.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the sound you make when you're most relaxed and tired. And here with oo, very similar. The closer they are, the more similar they sound. Or, or. One is smaller, one is higher, I should say. One is higher and one is lower. Now, every time we say a vowel, we can't guarantee that we're saying the same vowel. Think of that, because we're actually dropping dots, right? There is a target we aim at, but we can't be sure that every time we go back to where we went to last time. So we end up with these dots. Like when you're shooting. Your goal is that bullseye in the middle. But yeah, what you end up with is a space where what you say fall into. And they look like this sometimes because they don't stay still. Your tongue can move a little bit. Okay, now we have a short summary with an X-ray vision. And it was actually very dangerous to take X-rays 100 years ago. So all these people actually got into trouble after X-ray. So they actually sacrificed for science. But we are lucky enough to have these images. You can see, ya. When your tongue drops, ya, you get this ya sound. And when your tongue is at the back, you start with u and go down wa. It's like that. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. High, we have i, u, o. If you want to get the accurate sounds, you can go to, again, the IPA interactive chart. I'm not going to demonstrate every sound. Now, another new word, interesting word for you is diphthongs. Diphthongs. So diphthongs in Chinese, 双元音, all right? So two vowels together, a sequence of two vowel sounds. One vowel sound is called monophthong, monophthongs. And in French, we have nasalization, which means when you're saying a vowel sound, you don't just say it with your mouth, you say it with your nose as well. Like pain, a bean. This is English bean. But in French, we have more of these. That's a full chart with English words. Beat, bit, bait, bet, bat. Boot, put, boat, ball, bomb. And rounded at the back usually. And it's not rounded in the front usually in English. All right. Here's another one. And you can see this reference line I drew, showing you the highest point has moved up or down in relation to the reference line. And it's very important to keep the initial letter the same. It's all, and the ending is all d, right? So you can compare. Heed, hid, had, had. Yep. And hod, hord, hood, hood. So just higher and higher. Or lower or lower. Another diagram, this time in the background of the starry night. Okay, the starry night. And why do I do that? So what message am I trying to convey to you by putting this against the backdrop of the the stars? Okay, so my point is that all the vowels are like one star. Okay, so if you are asked, do you think there are more vowels or more consonants? What will you answer? A lot of people will say, oh, there are more consonants because if you look at the IPA chart, right, which is all the way back, you know, oh, where is it? I can't find, oh, it's here. You can see that these are all consonants, 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 and only these are vowels, right? If you count the pure number, of course, there are more consonants than vowels, but actually, if you go back to the starry night picture, there are infinite number of vowels because there are vowels here, 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 all the way. So all the stars you can see, they are the brightest one, most important one, the reference points. But that doesn't mean there's no star in this area. Yeah, if you're into astrology, you know, the science of stars, you will know that there are many stars in this black area. That's the same thing with vowels. And if you remember this one, you will see my point. So the reference, or called cardinal vowels, so these are called cardinal vowels, they are only like the targets, okay? But in every language, the actual sound, the actual target can be a little bit away from the cardinal vowels. For example, in Wenzhou dialect, it's here. In Shanghainese, it's here. In Mandarin, it's here. They all sound like O, but they're different kinds of O. But if you're not trained, you can't tell the difference, okay? Now, skip the break. Yep, going a little bit over time. Let's play a game. So we have 3 languages. 1 and 2 and 3. So language 1. So these are its monophthongs, single vowels. So here we have E, and here we have U, here we have U, here we have and this is the this is the R. Okay, what language do you think it is? If you have no clue, listen to these ones. This is I, this is AU, this is O, this is A, this is U. Still no clue? This is ye, ya, wa, wo, wo. Can you have a guess?
Yeah.
What is this language? We can only see its vowel system, but does it sound familiar? Not really. Okay, so keep that thought, all right? Let's look at language number 2. Now, we have only monophthongs. We don't have diphthongs anymore for this language. And this language has E, U, E, Ö, E, Un, A, On, O, U, U and O. Okay, so what language is this? A lot of nasals. Yeah.
I think it is a little bit like French.
It is French. Congratulations. Language 2 is in fact French. So it's the vowel system of French. All the vowels in French categorized using this vowel space system. Okay, is it making sense? Now we have language 3. Language 3, we have I, E, U. That's the U and U, O, E, A, O. That's the monophones. And diphthongs, we have O, ow, ear, A, I, O, oi. Yep. So obviously this one is ow. This one I think gives it away. So ow and apple. Right? So this is actually Australian English. Not just any English. So you might be thinking, what's A? That's Australian English. Yes. In British English, it's not here. Remember? So every English or every dialect or every accent or every person has his or her own vowel chart. All right. So that's a standard Australian accent. The accent I'm trying to imitate. I'm trying to speak in. So A is the first letter in English. A. So it's not A. So A would be up there, right? In American accent. Yeah. It's ABC in American accent. But in Australia, it's lower. Remember lower? So it's A. Lower means more open, bigger mouth. So A. Right, that's Australian accent. Maybe you're struggling with.
It's strange.
It feels strange. But trust me, if you have lived here for 10 years like myself, nothing is strange anymore. And you'll get used to it. Maybe you'll start picking it up. You'll speak in Australian accent, okay, like myself. So language 1, Mandarin Chinese, right? Yeah, wa, right? I didn't speak with tones, so maybe it was a little bit confusing for you. But if I say wa, right? If I speak in a flat tone, you will say, oh, Mandarin. But that's because of the tones, not because of the vowels you recognize, all right? A, U, O, ow, I. Yep, so they are here. I must point one thing out. That is, even if two languages share I, right? For example, this one, English, I, it's I. You see the starting point being here and the ending point being here? Remember that. That's the I, Australian I. And if you go back to the Chinese I, it's here to here. Look, it was here to here. So that actually reveals why we have different accent. When we speak different languages, we need to choose a different starting point and a different ending point. Okay? So although they are both, they both sound like I, but they're not the same I. One is I, one is A, right? So a lot of people studying Chinese would say, 我爱你, 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 right? They sound weird because they're using the wrong I. They're using English I for the Chinese I, and also the tones are a little bit different. Okay, almost finishing. This is something I made to compare the different accents, different Englishes. We have the American, British, and Australian. Okay, this is what when I teach English, I use this slides. So A, so that's the American flying that way. Okay, can you see the animation? And that's the British A. And that's the Australian, the strange one. A. Yeah, it sounds like I, but it's A. Now, this letter, American first, O at the back. O. Right? Oh no, right? American. And then British, we have O. Oh no. Oh no. Then we have Australian. Oh no. And you remember, did I tell you that I have a 2-year-old son last time? So my boy, he actually, because he goes to childcare, kindergarten, not kindergarten, but childcare, he learns a lot of English and he says, oh no. At home, oh my god, his Australian accent is stronger than mine. Oh, you know. And then we have the American E. It's not moving. It's just there. E. And then the British one. And then the Australian one. A. A. So the Australian E sounds like A. A. Sounds like your ABCA, but it's A. Yeah. He says me. He says me. Not he sees me, but he says me. I. Oh, it's a bit wrong. So the American one is more like Chinese. It's I. So hi, I'm Mike. A nice guy, right? It's American just sounds like Chinese. Hi, I'm Mike. I'm a nice guy. But the British one is hi, I'm Mike. A nice guy. A nice guy. It's not rounded, but this one is rounded. Australian plain is rounded. So it's hi, hi, I'm Mike. A nice guy. So it's round. It's not hi, it's hi.
Hoi.
Yeah, it's more like hi. And now it's the ow sound. Ow. How about now? That's the American playing. How. That's how. How do you do? How about now? And then the Australian flag. How. He. So starting point is no longer R, it's an air.
How.
How. Now we have a new playing, the Chinese one, showing you how different the accent is. You see the starting point, they're all spread out like this, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a notoriously accented sound. So we can tell it's Chinese or not by listening to this sound. So we say ah, ow, zhou. Okay, again, American, zhou. British, zhou. And then zhou. And then zhou. So all is at the back. See, we can control our tongues to make different accents and sounds. Okay, and this is a very quick summary of this in Chinese, something I did before. So I further categorized the space into 9 different areas, okay, with some tips. So to guide you to make this sounds. And then I have some Chinese characters for you. For example, this one is the area, and that's a. I don't know if it's accurate because you are from the Zhangzhou area. So like lebese or something like that. All right. So that's the that's the that's the oh when you're singing. And then I have put all these Australian vowel sounds into these grids for you. Okay, and this is a simple summary of vowels. You can control the height, the frontness, which means how closer to the lip, the lips, the sound is, and the roundness. The vowels can also be long or short, and we have diphthongs, which means 2 vowels together in 1 syllable, okay, versus monophthong. All right, for homework, guys, we have 3 websites. For this one, it's for typing. So your homework is to find an English word, transcribe it into IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. If you can't get the alphabet, the special symbols, go to this website for all languages. So you can click on these ones. And then you have to translate it to Chinese. For example, I've chosen melons. So this is the English melons. And then the Chinese gua. And I transcribe the Chinese. My mother tongue is Mandarin, so I do gua. But if you speak another dialect, you can do it in your, mother tongue. And you can try both Mandarin Chinese and your dialect, the Wu dialect. And it will be fun. You can see how different things are using the symbols. Now, for further reading, I want you to read this book. So, which nicely summarizes all the key concepts we have studied and are preparing for next time. Okay? All right, any questions before we finish today?
No question.
Okay. All right, I'll send you the slides shortly. All right. Nice,
Okay.
nice seeing you guys today. All right, I wish you all the
See
best
you.
this week. Have fun. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.